The Grand Prix started in Berlin, and I'm going to show you the game between Etienne Bacrot and Hikaru Nakamura from the round 1 of Group A. In the Group A we have Etienne Bacrot, Hikaru Nakamura, Andrei Yesipenko and Alexander Grishchuk. So we have this match between Bacrot and Nakamura. We had e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6 and bishop b5. A Spanish game. Nakamura chose to play knight f6 here. He chose the Berlin defense in Berlin, which is kind of funny. Very solid opening choice. Now it's white who has to decide, does he want to go for the endgame after castling knight e4, d4, knight d6 and head into this, go into this endgame, which is well known, well analyzed, and I think Bacrot didn't want to enter this because I think that Nakamura is one of the top experts in Berlin endgame. And also white has a choice to play anti-Berlin with d3 and continue with the more closed positions. But he chose to play for castle, and now Nakamura took on e4, and positions which appear after knight e4 are quite dry. White went to even more dry position than the endgame. He went for rook e1, and he's going to capture the pawn on e5 next, which leads us to some symmetrical position similar to Petrov. So black goes back to d6, getting a tempo on the bishop on b5. Now white takes, so black develops by bishop e7, and now bishop goes back to f1. And now black tries to finish development by knight f5, tries to free the d pawn so the bishop can move out, and now white goes back to f3. For example, also c3 is very good, but after capturing rook e5, d6, still white has some slight edge, but it's nothing serious. We had a game recently played between Sergei Karyakin and Magnus Carlsen in Vaikenze, and it continued something like this. And after a couple of more moves, we had a repetition of moves after this. So Bacrot chose to go back to f3 to claim that this knight on f5 is weird. It really blocks the development of black, especially this bishop, because bishop belongs to f5. So he plays d5, tries to open up the bishop, d4 by white. Black finishes developing by castling, and now knight c3. And in this position, bishop b4 is also a move, which is often played. But in this case, Nakamura plays knight h4. And the reasoning behind this is that black would like to exchange pieces, because also the knight on f5 is hindering the bishop's development from c8. So it's useful to exchange this knight on f5 for potentially a very dangerous knight which can come to e5. So white takes, bishop h4, and now knight e2. White's idea here is to somehow regroup his knight, to make the center solid by c3, and then to maybe get the knight to f4 and put some pressure on d5. Now bishop f5. Black also develops his piece, wants to go at some point knight b4 to target c2. White ignores this threat, this knight b4, and plays knight f4. His idea is just to put some pressure on d5. And now Nakamura plays queen d7, tries to connect his rooks, and prepares knight b4. And the reason why knight b4 doesn't work right away is that white has c3 immediately. And if knight c2, there is rook e5, attacking the bishop, and this connection is going to be really fragile, because if the knight takes, then the rook takes f5, and the knight on a1 is just doomed. And if queen f6, let's say, then you can take on f5 and go bishop d3, and then capture the knight, and white has two minor pieces for a rook, which is very good for him. It turns out that knight b4 is a waste of time. After c3, he has to go back to c6, but that's not the only issue in this position. The second issue is that after queen b3, there's a double attack on b7 and d5, and black is very close to losing this. So Nakamura plays queen d7 here, and now Bacrot plays c3 against knight b4. Nakamura plays rook a e8, bishop e3. He doesn't want to exchange yet. He wants to improve his pieces first and then to, at a certain moment, put pressure on the e-file. And now knight d8 by Nakamura. The same reasoning behind knight e2 for white. The pawn d5 needs some protection. You can do it by playing c6 next, and then the knight can find some way to improve its placement by knight e6 or whatever else. And now Bacrot plays this move, tries to get to c5 or e5, and that's why Nakamura goes back. The bishop on h4 is not so useful, so it was good for him to bring the bishop back to maybe discourage knight c5. Queen b3 now, and now c6. Protects d5 and also connects the queen with b7 and with the queen side. Now bishop goes to f4, tries to stop somehow bishop d6, and now black plays knight e6, tries to hit the bishop. The knight belongs to e6, it doesn't have any better square than that, and Bacrot plays bishop g3. Now the issue is that bishop d6 is not possible anymore because of taking, and capturing on b7. So he tries to exchange bishops by playing bishop d8, bishop c7. Black can afford this loss of time with bishop d8, bishop c7. Now Bacrot plays knight e5 and now bishop d8. Bishop d3 tries to eliminate the bishop and they exchange. Now bishop c7. White takes on c7, knight c7, and now white tries to gain some space on the queen side by a4, but now the e-file is open for trades, and after a couple of more moves we exchanged every single piece. Queen f5 was played, and now queen e3 to defend the knight. a5 to stop any further expansion. The queen side after h3, h5 was played as well, and after h4, knight e6. And after they reached move 30, they agreed to a draw. This position is quite drawish, so they didn't see a purpose of playing further. Maybe some other player would play this for a win, for both sides, I would say. It is possible to push for a win, but they thought it was just better to conserve some energy for other rounds. In the next round, Bacrot is again white, but against Grishchuk, and Nakamura is white against Yesipenko. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I will get back to you. That's it. Have a good day and see you soon.